lady stood up in the class to ask a question from a lecturer. When she asked the question, the lecturer insulted her and said, "Oh Lodo, that how can she ask such a foolish question?" Everyone in the class laughed about it. The lady sat down dejected. The lecturer felt very bad about it. His conscience pricked him. So he decided that on Monday, because this particular thing happened on Friday, he was going to apologize to her on that Monday in front of the whole class. On Monday, when he got to class, he asked of the lady and said, "Where is she?" And her friend said she died on Friday. What happened was the question he had to ask with a face that is very concerned. And the friend said she was crossing the road, but her mind was she was absent-minded while crossing the road, and a car hit her. Possibly, maybe she was thinking of something and all. And the man felt bad about it, that the probability is high. Not even the probability is high. It was possible it was the words that he said that made her absent-minded while crossing the road. Then the lady died. Well, this lecturer of an higher institution ended up resigning, and he felt very bad about his actions. Words are powerful. A sad story, isn't it? And that is what the book we are reviewing today is about. It is titled The Power of the Tongue by Kenneth Copeland. The Power of the Tongue by Kenneth Copeland. How powerful are your tongue? This book is very little, like very, very small. It has like 40 something pages, and they are big letterings. I read it in like 2 hours and I was done, to tell you how compact it is. And like I always say, this is going to be for 10 minutes, but I'm just going to tell you what I learned from the book, not like I'll be reading directly from the book, or I'll be telling you what it is chapter by chapter, though I do that sometime. Now, let's go back to that story. That man said that he felt bad about it, but you see, those words penetrated into the girl's heart and she lost her life. Now, do you know how many words we've spoken to people that has made them dejected, that has made them to give up on themselves? Should we talk about parents to children, or should we talk about friend to friend, or should we talk about spouse to spouse, or can we just talk about the boss and the subordinate? So many like that. Words are very powerful. You know, people say that, "Oh, I take my word back." Shut up, please. Like when you drop it, it's like an egg that is not boiled. A raw egg, you drop it on the floor, it scatters. You can't take it back. What you'll be picking on the ground would be the shells that are broken, and then the liquid, the yolk and all that is inside the desert, and it cannot be put together again except through a miracle. So you see, instead of you saying sorry after you've said hurtful things to people, why don't you just take that responsibility of making sure you speak the right things to people? Come on. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Don't do it, finish and be like, I'll apologize. I understand that we can be angry sometimes, but we really need to be careful what we say to other people, because it goes a long way. Haven't you seen people stand somewhere and be like, "This person told me this, and this was what made me want to do it"? Fine, some people have heard hurtful words, and that is one of the things that spurred them into action. But not everybody would be like that. One of them is Enefio Kudo. I've reviewed this book here, where he spoke about when one of his senior colleague as an athlete said he cannot get qualified into the World African Games, talk less of the Olympics, that it took him like 4 years to do it. So maybe for Enefio Kudo, it would take him like maybe 4 or 5 years thereabouts. So it's just go and sleep. He took it as a challenge, and then he ended up qualifying for that particular, the year after Olympic. That is for Enefio Kudo. For some people, it is not like that. So now we're talking about the power of, because our words are very powerful. No. Don't tell me your words are not powerful. Like Motimbino, I'm vexing. Don't tell me words are not powerful. Your words are powerful. I've spoken about what you say to people. Now let me talk about when you speak to yourself. When you speak to yourself, it matters a lot. Okay, the Christians believe, I'm one of them, that God created the world with words. He said, "Let there be." Even before he created humans, he said, "Let us create man." He first said it before he was poured into action. Before the action came, it was the words that came first. So you can see the power of words. That words are very, very, very powerful. And you see, it's until you live with that understanding. I hear people say, oh, words are not really very powerful. And this is one of the things I tell people like that. I say, you see, that you don't believe in the law of gravity does not mean when you throw something up, it will not drop down. No, definitely. A child, a little baby who does not know the law of gravity yet, takes a plate from a cup filled with water from a table and pushes it down. Do you think the water would not pour on the floor? It will. It's not the child cannot say, I didn't know that it was going to pour. The child is still small anyway, but that's what I'm trying to tell you from this story, from this particular example, is that no matter what, even if you think, it's not about what you think. Maybe you think, oh, words are not powerful, or I don't really believe that. It's not about what you believe. It's not about all that. It's about what is really. And the power of what is like the law of gravity. What you say matters. It goes a long way. Now, you might not know it. Okay, now the child sees what's on the floor and is like, so I have to clean this mess and all. Like, why did this thing pour? But the child does not know about the law of gravity. The child would have to clean it up. That's the way words are. You've said something to yourself that, fine, people might not believe in you, no problem. It could even be your parent that have sowed some evil words into you. But you have the responsibility to speak right words to yourself, because the words you say to yourself are very, very powerful. I think there was a thesis that was carried out to test the power of words, and scientists spoke to two water, just non-living things, to water, and they realized that the one they spoke positive words to add molecules on it, the one they didn't speak positive words to did not have, to tell you how powerful words are even to non-living things. And this is the way I live my life. I even speak to non-living things. Like, it's not about you getting the opportunities and all that. You speak to non because they hear. These things have ears that they can hear you, and you really need to speak to yourself in a very good way. Oh God, like just few minutes more, and I want to talk about Serena Williams. Serena Williams' dad would take placards when they were still young, and he would say things like, he wrote it. He would say things like, one day Serena will be the one in the world, number one in the world when it comes to playing table tennis. And it was like, come on, go sit down. But guess what? Today, is it not happening? To tell you how much your words can go into the lives of your siblings, your parents, your family, your spouse, your children. Words live generations to come. Darling, what are you doing? If you're going to speak at all, make sure you speak right words to yourself. And then finally, I would finish this podcast by telling you that words come from the heart, so you have to be careful with what you put into your heart. I remember I was telling somebody, I said, you see, if you want a good marriage, you cannot fill yourself so much with the words of people who have bad marriages, who talk down on marriages. Call it work. I remember a particular story. Ellen Paul, a comedian, said, she's a Nigerian comedian, and she said something. She said there was a time when she would post pictures of some female celebrities on her wall and say, see, my marriage will not be like you. I'll have a very good marriage and everything. And she would sow those words. Come on, she's enjoying that right now. She's one of the celebrities who have a good marriage. Darling, what are you saying to yourself? What are you putting into your heart? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And Kenneth Copeland said all these things I'm saying in this book, The Power of the Tongue, by him. I enjoy this book to the fullest. And it's really made me to understand better things on how to speak to myself. You know, we have to dedicate time to ourselves. See, something like, I'm stupid. Or don't say that to yourself. Yeah, it sounds like a joke. You might be like, no, I don't think it would happen. But then you're actually sowing seeds into yourself, and then you start becoming stupid. Instead, say some bad-ass top things to yourself. Come on, baby girl. Say things like, I am beautiful, I am wonderful, I'm the best in my field. Say it. Not that you are saying it and then you want to say it to pepper people. No, say it in the four walls of your room, and that will be your reality. And so good words into people's lives too, because it's quite needed. People remember you for the words that you spoke to them, the positive ones, even the negative ones they would remember. So if you sow any seed at all, why don't you just sow a positive seed? My name is Mojisola Talks, and this is where I get to sign up. Remember, you cannot grow more than you know, so you want to grow better, know more. Today I was able to tell you how to know better about what you speak from your mouth. And finally, do you know that the doctors know the state of your health from your tongue? Good. So I can know the state of your life from how you have been speaking to yourself and others. Love you. Have a wonderful week. See you next Friday with another podcast.